Howdy, folks. There an X on that tree? X on that tree. X on that tree. Get back out of here. What I need to do is cut down all these stupid trees and build some houses. Yeah, who needs forests, right? This is Clark County, Washington. Used to be a really beautiful county. It's going to be a parking lot at this rate pretty soon. I mean, total encroachment onto wildlife areas. The environment's dead here. Like, all the native animals are basically gone, and it's not even talked about. I seem to be the only one who notices. But we can get rid of these damn cedar trees. Oh, they're just such a nuisance, right? Because the road's got to go through right where that stand of trees is, of course, to turn the farm over there, which has not been a farm, it's just been hay for a long time now. Not the close one, but the farther one where the farmhouse is over there. See, each one of these X's we go by, they're cutting them all down, so. Because they're going to put a subdivision in here, because, you know, who needs pasture land and farm area when you can, you know, buy your food at the store, because everything is so stable and perfectly dependable in our world. That's what the smart money's doing. Hey, let's sell some houses to these dumbasses that are willing to pay $1 million a piece for them in a neighborhood. And I hope they enjoy the air show, because today is a rare exception. You know, what, they close the airport? What is normal, I wonder, right? Like, it's hot today too. What's normal? 5,000 jetliners a day going over your house on their way to PDX, supposedly, while at the same time 5,000 more are striping the sky, because they're always at altitude when they're going over. They're rarely, well, I shouldn't say rarely around here, because there's ones you can see coming up from the ground. So we got both. You can tell they're turning on their spew as soon as they take off somewhere south of Portland, when the trails just go right up into the sky at an angle and then top out over you, and then they stop mysteriously when they get over Clark County. How cool is that, right? Anyway, it's hot today. People are out. I don't know what's down there. All right. Well, we're out of it. See, this road is clearly not going to handle the amount of traffic that's going to take for the subdivision, or the water and that's another thing. The water, they're you know, you could have a well around here anywhere. The place I was just at has a well. The water's great. So I go there and get the water. Damn it, I left my water. I got water at home though, from there. Anyway. But no, they're sending out the fluoridated, chlorinated death water all the way out to all the rural areas too. Because hey, why not? It's good for you. We need fluoride for our teeth. You know, you see that fucking YouTube commercial where Washington's rivers and volcanic mountains rinse all kinds of natural fluoride into the streams and that run off into the valleys of the Puget Sound and the Pacific Northwest. And fluoride is an important nutrient. Fucking whatever. What the F ever. This is the one day of no chemtrails we get, I guess. It must be an occult holiday. That's the only time they ever take a break, is when their minions are forced to take a day off due to protocols and procedures, most likely. Because really, if you think about it, the evil bastards, they have to keep a more regimented and tight control of their minions than would the good guys, say. The good guys know that they're all basically the good guys, and everybody's got their own personal little issues, but if they're, you know, trustworthy and they've been shown to be, and they're a cohesive group, then the good guys know the other good guys in their good guy group most likely are good guys, unless they're a really bad guy deceiving them. Hey, baby. And so where was I? The bad guys, though, they have to keep a more tight grip on their minions. They have to have rules and procedures and stuff that are followed consistently, constantly, because the bad guy minions they realized at a certain point that, well, none of the rules and laws and standards that are supposed to be enforced in our society are actually enforced. It's all bullshit, and I'm just a minion of the system. And so they start to realize, well, I could get away with shit too, all I want. And they do. They get away with all kinds of shit. They get away with murder, literally. But that's not really the point of the video. They have to keep a will kill you type of firm control and compartmentalization on things with their own minions. That's why the authorities with their ultra rigid, guidelines of everything, that's why they have to be that way, because they're the minions, and the minions left to their own devices will become just an out for themselves chaotic group of narcissistic assholes, right? At which point the management realizes our minions are off the hook, we can't rein them in, they're gonna probably try and form their own coalition and overtake us, and not that they could, but who knows, they're stupid, and there's lots of them. And so that's why it's important for the military and the police to be so tightly regulated, and the fire department and the Coast Guard. Every one of those organizations has got to be tightly regimented with rules that are enforced and standards of conduct for all of their people. And it's not, because standards of conduct isn't really about how the people conduct themselves overall. It's about how they conduct themselves in public, really. As long as you don't break the rules for conduct in public and you present yourself as a professional, blah, 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 whatever the fuck you are, then you're fine, you're golden, you can do whatever you want. But you get caught in public, being a minion fuck, and a video gets made and it happens to get out there, which is pretty much locked up now. I mean, in the early days of YouTube, you could put stuff on there and it would beat the censors. It would be out there for a while and then it would be taken down or whatever. I don't know. I never really had any issues with that, but none of my early videos are very controversial anyway. But anyway, where was I? And I lost my point. Point is, wow, did they close the airport? It's perfectly normal. Perfectly normal for 5,000 jetliners and hundreds of private pilots to be just tooling their plane in overlapping circles at 1,200 feet over residential neighborhoods the entire day. That's perfectly normal. And then when there's not a plane in the sky, basically, all day, and no Kimberly T. Rails, that's Mark Trails, no, that doesn't work. Anyway, that's Mark Trail's wife, Kimberly T. Rails. Kimberly Trails. Oh yeah, Mark Trail, the comic book with the I don't know if he's like a Boy Scout or something, a comic book with a Boy Scout in it, and he's like, goes around and talks about nature and animals and stuff. Very wholesome comic book. Way better than Marvel or DC. But I digress. It's perfectly normal when there's thousands of planes a day. It's perfectly normal when there's none. Nobody notices. Nobody looks up whatsoever, it seems. Nobody notices that the environment has died here. The ecosystem has collapsed. There are crows, pigeons, bugs, and some squirrels still, but the squirrels are rare, very ratty looking. They're very nasty looking, like homeless looking squirrels. They're all dirty and they got dreadlocks and shit. Having grown up here, I can assure you that when I was younger, I have a very distinct memory of what the environment in my town was like, and it wasn't this shit. This shithole of a shithole. It's just fucking disgusting. Oh yeah, we're gonna get rid of those trees out there. We're gonna take this old farm that ain't doing nothing, just sitting here, and because who needs that shit? And we're gonna put like a subdivision here and sell, like $500 million worth of houses, and then we'll make some money. Because who needs farms? Farms are stupid. Everybody knows farms are ran by corporations. Hey, it's an airplane flying right over it, nice and low. We're gonna fly over every single residential neighborhood in Clark County, and then make a slow banking turn towards the south, where we can pretend like we're coming into land at PDX and fly right on over it and do that over Portland, and then turn around and come back and do it again. Now, that's what they do. Not every one of them, of course. Many of them, though. Just as I'm talking about the planes, one shows up. Speak of the devil and they appear. speaking of the devil, the prince of the power of the air, is this thing still on? Yes, it is. The prince of the power of the air just flew over. Is anybody ever or is familiar with the series Discworld? I think it's about a flat plane world where people live and it's not on a spinning ball and, a vacuum of space, which vacuum cannot exist. Therefore, space can't be a vacuum if it exists at all. But I digress. In Discworld, I went into the Chevron station late at night to get some gas with the last change I had years ago. And the guy that worked there was listening to a book on, audio book, and it was Discworld. And I asked him afterwards, because there were several people in line and nobody was saying anything, and that was just playing, so we're all listening to Discworld while he's ringing stuff up. And what the book was saying was, one character says, won't they be able to spot us right away and just shoot us down? Something along those lines. And the other character, the more authoritative one, he says, no, a spell of forgetting has been cast upon them. If they notice anything at all they'll see is an airplane flying over. And I was like, hold the fucking, hit the brakes. An airplane flies. So a spell has been cast over them so that if they notice anything going over at all, it will be, and they're in disguise, apparently, if their cloaking device or whatever, an airplane going over if they notice anything at all, because a spell's been cast on them. And like I said, the airplane phenomenon's off the hook. I've never seen any of the ones that seem to just stop, holographic. Haven't seen that myself. But I've seen every other thing airplane related. Anyway, I better get this done because I'm getting on the freeway. It's going to be too noisy. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.